The dispatcher's job is to get the info for responding officers and for the EMTs and or paramedics. That is their sole purpose, is to get valid data so the responders know what they're responding to. And a lot of people got upset that the dispatcher seemed like she was cold and callous and cut them off.
I can only get 50% feedback because I don't hear the whole, as we say in police world, job, radio call, job, right? In my opinion, the dispatcher spoke more than she needed to. I know what she meant about passing the phone around. That wasn't necessary. She's making assumptions. She should have said, I need to speak to one person. She made comments about the defibrillator. I think maybe she thought they were in a dorm. And then when the police officer came, she should have verified. So in New York City, we go over the police radio. Let's pretend my cell phone's a radio. We go over and we tell Central Radio, but we call it Central. We say Central, we're 84. That's a code for we're here. Once Central verifies with us that we're with the complainant and we're talking with the complainant, then they'll log off and they'll tell the victim. I didn't get that. That's a technicality. But for the shock that was going on, when she asked about the defibrillator, I think we waited too long to get to that question. She asked about the breathing.
I don't like to interrupt, but I want to say at the end of this call, she asked about that defibrillator, and you could hear her asking the police officer, and then the dispatcher said, "Oh, you're with an officer? I'm going to cut this off now," because she knew that there was a officer there. So her job was done at that point once first responders get there.
I don't think so. No, the supervisor, first of all, in a scene like this, I would be there with with the police officers I work with. We would go and verify with the Central Radio. Sometimes I've even grabbed the phone from the victim when they're in that much shock.
Yeah,
to give the victim a little assurance, like, hey, ma'am, I got the phone. I tell them, hey, even though they know I'm there, victims need to see professionals be professional and take control of the scene. And I think that the victims did too much of the police work.
Everybody has their opinion, and we respect everyone's opinion. Some people think that the dispatcher did good. Some people think the dispatcher did not good. But she definitely did cut her off from, she wanted to tell her what she saw. And I think one of the important parts that I take away from this is that had the complainant on the line, and had she made a statement that, Dylan said, well, or Bethany said, oh, I saw bushy eyebrows, I saw a man wearing all black, they wouldn't have been able to release this because it would have been something they would use at trial. What this is going to be used as a timeline of events. They're going to start with the first responding officer, but this 911 call is when everything gets the whole thing started at 1122 King Road. It sets that timeline up. So there was no description of the defendant in this, no talk about the bushy eyebrows in this call. Ed Wallace says the dispatcher's job is to prioritize the emergency. Yes, absolutely. She was told that they had an unconscious female, and that is her priority, not what happened at 4 a.m. The investigators will get those details. Exactly. Her job, as we stated, Ed, and everybody in the chat, is to get that location first and foremost, because without the location, you can't be any help. And they didn't have a 911 trace like what we have here in the city. Right. This is Moscow, Idaho. This is Latah County, off-campus home. I don't think they have that 911 system where they can get your address when you make that call, and especially from a cell phone. Thank you for being here, Ed. I know you're exhausted. He's traveling.
I'm out right now. I don't really know. Hi, and are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out? Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we gotta go check. But we have to.
Come on, we gotta go check. And whoever was right there next to her said, no, I don't want to. But we have to. Is she passed out?
She's not waking me up. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
So she's now seeing this male who is Hunter in front of her, and she's seeing the shocking look on his face. And heard her say, what's wrong? You know? So, I mean, this is what's happening in real time in front of her right now, and we're hearing the actual raw human emotion because she sees the shocking look on his face.
But dispatch was correct, and I like this part that I missed earlier. Credit to dispatch, where she said, now we'll get started that way. When she established that the patient is unconscious, we don't know murdered, we don't know anything, she said, we'll get started that way. She's very exacting.
Okay, and how old is she? She's 20.
So did you catch the male saying, get out, get out, get out?
Yeah, he didn't want anyone to see it.
Okay, and how old is she?
And he went up when she said, you got to go check. And he saw what he saw and said, no, get out. You got to get out. Because you hear the urgency in his voice right there. Princess Mitch says, yeah, he saw it. He saw and said, get out. Yeah, 100%.
20. 20, you said? Yes, 20. Here's one. Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, when I first initially listened to this and I heard that male voice say hello twice, after she explained to him, stop passing the phone around, it made me scratch my head because it didn't sound natural. But again, nothing about this is natural. This is a situation that is hectic. It's, high stress level, shocking. These people have never seen anything like this, or this person has never seen anything like it. So nothing about this is going to be routine or normal.
Please talk to them, Jay. I can't talk to them. Jay needs you to talk to them.
Hello? Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Say that again? There's a police here right now. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. We don't have it. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yes. Okay, I'm going to let you go since she's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you. Bye. Okay.
People even had a problem with her saying, okay, thank you, bye. Maybe she's a polite person. Maybe she was raised right to say thank you.
What was the gentleman's name again? Dennis? No.
Hunter.
Hunter. I keep calling him Dennis. I'm sorry. When he said she's not breathing, I probably would have followed up and say, did you check her pulse or find out more as an EMT once we find out someone is not breathing? They in New York City, they also have an EMS dispatch, and Darlene would know this. So EMS is then brought into the phone call, and they want to know, well, if they're not breathing, are they bleeding? What position are they in? So I think that for this radio run, it would have helped for life-saving measures to get a little bit more info. He was very calm when he said she's not breathing. That means he checked, and that means he was touching her. And Ed could speak more about that in terms of forensics, and that happens a lot, right? Victims are touched by other people, right? But especially people who have been dead for a few days or a few weeks in an apartment, whoever finds that person usually sounds like this phone call with the breathing. The breathing really, I felt it took my breath away. I don't get used to that when you see someone, you've seen this. You show up to a job, a call, the family comes out, and you have that one person they can't even talk. They can't even, and I think for me as an EMT first, I've been doing this since I was 18, seeing that person already gives me an idea of the magnitude so that when I go in there, I'm actually more prepared to handle that job. I already know when I see someone breathing like that or in that kind of shock, I already know there's going to be massive blood loss, There's going to be CPR that's not going to work because ends of life is ends of life. But so everyone knows, we still in New York City, I'm speaking solely as an EMT in New York City, we still take life-saving measures unless it was someone who has passed away for several days and has rigor mortis. But we still take life-saving measures. This situation was tragic. I think when patrol showed up, I would have liked to hear more, but we have to wait for the next radio call. I want to hear the sergeant, the patrol officers go on the radio and explain what they saw, because they're going to do that in court.